Hey, what's going on, guys? This is James, and I want to talk to you today a little bit about wealth. And I want to talk a little bit about what keeps people from being wealthy and what can help you become wealthy. Now, you say, James, it's not possible for me to be wealthy. I'm from a poor family, I'm from a poor area. I don't have money, I don't have any opportunity. And I tell you, that's just not the truth. Where you come from is not where you're going. Where you're going is where you decide to go. You have to make a decision about what you want to do with your life, and you have to follow that decision. Now, is change easy? No. But there's a lot of people out there that make a change every day and they decide to go through and follow through and they follow a plan to get where they want to go. Zig Ziglar was one of the best motivational speakers ever. So there's 5 things that keep people from that keep people from being wealthy. The first, and I have a cheat sheet here that I'm going to be reading off of, so you'll have to excuse me. The first thing is it never occurs to people to be wealthy. And the reason why is they're not around wealthy people. Their family wasn't wealthy. That they go through life never even considering the fact that they could be wealthy. They never thought about it. It never occurred to them that they could be wealthy. And it's all based on what kind of environment you're in, what kind of positive outputs and inputs that you have in your life that will control your actions. And if it doesn't occur to you that you want to be wealthy or that you could be wealthy, then you're not going to follow that dream. You're going to leave it behind or never even think of it because you think you're just stuck in that situation. The second thing that he talked about was they never make the decision to become wealthy. So first, they never occurred to them they could be wealthy, and the second thing is they never make the decision that they want to be wealthy, that they want to make a difference in their lives financially, that they want to chase that dream. People like Donald Trump and Bill Gates and a slew of others, they made the decision that they were going to be wealthy. And no matter what it took, that's what they were going to do. And look how they turned out. Because they made a decision and they stuck to it and they followed through. Is there going to be failure? Of course there's going to be failure. Is there going to be heartache? There's going to be heartache. But if you keep pressing forward and you keep following that decision that you make to be wealthy, you will find it. Tony Robbins, who is obviously a great speaker also, said people find what you're looking for. So he did a little demonstration in the crowd and he said, close your eyes, visualize everything you see. And then he had them look for something in particular color. He said, look for everything brown. Everything brown, everything brown, everything brown. Look, 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 everything brown, everything brown. Then he told them to close their eyes. He said, name one red object. You can't, because your mind was focused on one thing, that color. Well, wealth is no different. If your mind is focused on wealth, if that's what you're looking for, you're going to find it. You just have to figure out how to get there. The third thing, procrastination. Procrastination will kill your dreams. Procrastination, of course, is the delay of action on a decision for something that may or may not have ever occurred to you. If you procrastinate at making a decision, then you procrastinate on your future. If you procrastinate, you'll stay on the same path you're on now, and you will get nowhere. Procrastination is the worst enemy of anybody. Fear is one, but procrastination is the worst. If you're in a situation where you've made a decision, you want to follow through, don't procrastinate. Act. Follow your gut feeling. Don't let procrastination stop you. Okay. Now, people that become wealthy have mastered what they call delayed gratification. For most people, humans, our first notion is instant gratification, which means we want it right now. We charge credit cards, we buy cars, we buy houses. We do whatever we have to get what we want right now. But if you learn delayed gratification, if you learn to pinch pennies now, then eventually it will pay off for you. You'll get delayed gratification, which means you do all the hard work now, you do all your saving now, then in the future you'll have an abundance. You'll have what you're looking for. It's not overnight. It takes time, it takes money, it takes work, it takes effort. It takes you realizing that delayed gratification is better than instant. Because you might have what you want right now, but there's no guarantee it'll be there tomorrow. There's no guarantee that you'll have the same job tomorrow. There's no way of guaranteeing anything. But if you put on a plan for delayed gratification and you focus yourself, you'll achieve it. That's how you build wealth. The last thing is lack of time perspective. What does that mean? Well, time perspective is the lack of knowing how soon you want to reach something, how soon you want to achieve something, how soon do you need to start doing something to get the results you want. Everything in life revolves around time management. And time perspective means that you know how to use your time management, when to use your time management to get the results that you want. So your time perspective is, how soon do I want this? How quickly can I obtain this? So you have to sit down, you have to figure out your goals, short-term and long-term. You have to figure out how to achieve those goals based on the right time perspective. You have to do things that are going to be, what they say, reasonable, or your expectation of it actually coming true is, don't set your goals too high. Set them at an attainable level for each time that you set new goals. Short-term goals are just those, short-term. Long-term goals are your delayed gratification goals. That means you're going to focus on your short-term now to get to your long-term. So those 5 things can make a complete difference in the way you look at your life, how you look at your finances. It can help you reset everything in your life and start changing your habits. Tony Robbins says we're creatures of rituals. Everything we do is a ritual, whether we know it or not. And in order to change things, we have to change our rituals. Or as the late Jim Rohn said, to change things, you got to change. It starts with you. Now, I watched another series of videos, and I don't know the gentleman's name. I was trying to locate it so I could write it down to give him credit for this. But he had 10 things that can help us save money and help build towards our wealth. And you can follow these 10 things because they're practical. They're not outrageous things. The first thing, don't buy a new car. If you're trying to build wealth and you're trying to save money, don't buy a new car. Buy a used car. Buy a car that's a year old. Buy a car that's 2 years old. Reason why is because somebody else has already paid the depreciation on that vehicle. So you're saving money, and your car note's going to be smaller, because if you're going to buy it with a car note, you're going to have a smaller car note and a smaller balance. And the depreciation has already been paid for. Cars depreciate. That's all they do. They don't gain value unless it's a collector's car. So when you go to get a vehicle, either pay cash or buy a used car. Make sure that the depreciation is already paid. Don't set yourself up for failure. Second thing, want to buy a home? A home is a serious investment. And if you can't afford to put at least 20% down on the home, you shouldn't be buying one. You should delay that. Being a homeowner is a sense of pride because you work for it and you earned it. But once you buy the home, then you got to pay for everything that happens to that home. Any repairs, all the lawn work, all the maintenance work, everything is on your shoulders and out of your pocketbook. So if you're trying to build wealth, stay away from buying a home right away if you don't have to. Third thing is doodads. Doodads is what he called it. And what he meant by doodads was like all the latest gaming systems, or all the latest, workout equipment, or all the latest, things that aren't gaining any value in your life. Anything that you purchase that's just a money pit that doesn't give you any kind of return for your investment. Now, don't get me wrong, I love video games myself, but I think he's right in that matter. Why go out and spend $500 on a game system when that $500 could be in the bank or in an investment portfolio making you money? You can't build wealth if you're buying video games and not investing. Clothes. This is a big one. Who needs name brand clothes for real? Why? All you're paying for is a name. You're not getting a better quality. You're not getting a longer wear out of the product. So why not go to a secondhand store or a Kmart or a Ross? Go to one of these places where you're getting the same quality of merchandise without the price. Save money on your clothes. Because if you save money now, then later, once you've become wealthy or gotten to a point where money's not an issue for you, then you can spoil yourself a little bit later. Refi. If you have a home, don't refi it. All that's doing is compounding your money. All you're doing is compounding your debt. If you can get away without doing a refi in your home, it's going to save you money in the long run. You'll be able to get your house paid off faster. Refis can really compound things to a point where you can get out of control with it. And the drop of the market in 08, 07, 08 really showed that, because people were refinancing and taking out second loans, and the value of their house dropped dramatically. So now they're stuck upside down with a refi and a second mortgage, and the value of the house doesn't cover it anymore. They're just stuck. The next thing is have an emergency fund. What's an emergency fund? That's money that's on hand, that's not touched, that isn't savings. It's an emergency fund. That's money that you put away that in case something happens, you have it. You know, if you own a home and hot water heater goes out, you gotta have money to cover that. If you own a vehicle and it breaks down, you gotta have money to cover that. If there's a medical bill that comes up and you need to pay it, you'll have money for that. That's the emergency fund. It's like a self-contained insurance policy for yourself. You keep it locked away, you don't touch it, you add to it, and you have it on hand. And that's something that I believe every family should have, and I would love to get to one myself. Don't eat out so much, and don't go out too much. So don't eat out and don't go out. Those are the next two. Now those kind of go hand in hand. What he means is it's cheaper to make your own food at home. It's cheaper to pack your lunch. It's cheaper to have your breakfast at home. You know, it's nice to be able to go out, but it's not a necessary expense. And if you're trying to build wealth, if you're trying to work your way up, then you need to limit the amount of money you're putting out. And you don't have to go out and party at the club. You don't have to go out to the bar and drink. You don't have to go out, you know, to the movies all the time. You don't have to go out to, you know, whatever it is that you're doing. That's your money is just going away. All this stuff does not bring you back an investment. And as much as it is nice to enjoy them, if you're trying to build wealth, you've got to stop enjoying those for the delayed gratification that later on, when money's not an issue, then you can live that lifestyle. Let's see. Loaning money. Alright, this one is basically talking about loaning money to friends and family. I know, me personally, I'm a nice guy. I love to help people out. And if somebody comes to me and I have it, I'm more than willing to let them have it, let them loan, you know, borrow it. But the problem is when we do that, we put ourselves in a situation where now we don't have it, because either they're going to take forever to pay it back, or they're not going to pay it back because they think it's okay to screw family over. And if you're not a bank, you shouldn't be loaning money. It's time to cut those people off. And the last thing, and probably the most important thing, is budgeting. What's a budget? A budget is you sit down and you map out what your finances are as far as what you're bringing in. Then you sit down and you look at what your bills are, and you figure out, after you take the money that you have coming in and the money you have going out, and you see how that balances. Now, you technically, if you're living properly, should have an abundance at the end of the month. But the truth is, most of us don't. And the reason being is because we were either never taught the proper way to budget our money, or we were never taught delayed gratification. So we just, when we get money, it goes. It comes and goes. It comes and goes. And I like to say I live paycheck to Friday because I usually get paid on Thursday. So I get my paycheck and by Friday I don't have any money. Bills and other things that I shouldn't be doing that I spend my money on. So those are 15 things that can help you start your path towards wealth. Those are 15 things that you can start working on to help fix your financial career, your financial future. You know, you can use these in everyday life, and it can really help you sit down and think about, where do I want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. If you could follow these simple steps, if you can change your perspective, you can change your future. It's up to you. And I would love, to talk to you about it if that's what you want to do. We can discuss things. Leave me comments at the bottom of this video, and definitely answer them as much as I can if you have questions or if you need some advice. I'm working my way up, and I got myself linked into a great company now, and I believe this is the final one. I think this is going to be my ticket to my future. So if anybody's looking for a journey, anybody's looking to make some extra money, if you're ready to really settle into a company that's going to help build a future, then join us. And I'm going to leave a link below for you to follow that. And we'll see you inside. Until then, later.